Get ready for rocket science insanity. SpaceX is officially switching Starship from a prototype program to full production. Elon Musk has confirmed the massive production goal, around 10 Starship vehicles and 5 super heavy boosters before the end of 2026, signaling a true production line is finally coming online. This changes everything about how we look at space exploration and the path toward that $1.75 trillion IPO. We are diving deep into what this production surge truly means for the future of space travel. Long-term vision for human interplanetary travel to Mars. We explore the engineering behind the massive redesigns and the ambitious goals for reusability. And we wrap up with the details of Flight 12 itself. This spectacular test of the overhauled Starship V3 architecture will see the super heavy booster execute a boost back and a landing in the Gulf of Mexico, while the Starship upper stage targets a splashdown in the Indian Ocean. This is the debut of a completely redesigned vehicle, and we're bringing you the live breakdown as this engineering marvel pushes the limits of what's possible. Don't miss this. Tune in now. SpaceX is rapidly transitioning Starship from a prototype phase to full-scale production, signaling a shift toward a genuine manufacturing line. Elon Musk has confirmed plans to build around 10 Starship vehicles and approximately 5 super heavy boosters by the end of 2026, establishing a production pace rather than a purely test and build cycle. This accelerated timeline is strategically timed to bolster investor confidence ahead of a reported SpaceX initial public, offering targeting a $1.75 trillion valuation in June. The vehicle itself is already a technological marvel, standing at 124.4 meters and boasting a payload capacity of around 100,000 kg to low Earth orbit, surpassing all other operational launchers. Musk has indicated that the design is not static, expecting Starship to grow by an additional 15 to 20% in height to further increase payload capacity. The economic cornerstone of this entire endeavor remains full reusability, contrasting sharply with NASA's Space Launch System, which is expendable and incurs billions per flight. SpaceX's strategy hinges on the economic advantage of catching and relaunching both stages. Flight 12, scheduled for May 21, carries heightened importance as it will be the first flight utilizing the Raptor 3 engines and incorporating crucial fixes from prior tests. This history demonstrates rapid iteration, moving from initial pad explosions to successful stage separation and controlled splashdowns. Musk has assured that losing a prototype during this phase would not derail the program, emphasizing that the primary concern is serious damage to the launch infrastructure, as ground facilities take significantly longer to repair than the rockets themselves. This production surge is deeply integrated with major external commitments. Starship is contractually central to NASA's Artemis program, which aims for a crewed moon landing in 2028, with no publicly confirmed backup vehicle if Starship fails to meet reusability milestones. SpaceX's near-term priorities include deploying next-generation Starlink satellites, 40 to 60 per flight, alongside the Artemis lunar lander and future Mars cargo missions. Competitively, while Blue Origin's New Glenn and Rocket Lab's Neutron represent the closest U.S. rivals in the heavy lift sector. They remain approximately 2 to 3 years behind in operational readiness. This gap highlights the strategic advantage of SpaceX's production acceleration. Building hardware faster than competitors can test theirs compounds a lead that is already measured in years. SpaceX is set to conduct the 12th uncrewed test flight of its upgraded Starship V3 this week, a crucial milestone ahead of the company's anticipated initial public offering. This debut flight is designed to test the new vehicle's capabilities, which are essential for supporting future missions to the Moon and Mars and bolstering investor confidence. The Starship V3 features significant upgrades, including a revamped Super Heavy booster rocket with modified Raptor engines designed for greater thrust and reduced weight, and an upper stage refined for long-duration missions, incorporating features for in-space docking and refueling. This test also marks the first blastoff from a new launch pad specifically engineered for the more powerful rocket. Analysts view this flight as the single most important pre-IPO catalyst for SpaceX, given the narrative-driven nature of the upcoming offering, which is valued at $1.75 trillion. SpaceX's long-term goals, including drastically reducing launch costs, expanding its Starlink business, and pursuing interplanetary travel, are central to this valuation. While SpaceX will not attempt a safe recovery of the vehicles, the test objectives include executing complex return flight maneuvers by both the Starship and the Super Heavy booster, including controlled landings before they splash down in the Gulf of Mexico and the Indian Ocean. During the mission, the Starship is planned to release a payload of 20 Starlink simulators and 2 satellites for data transmission during re-entry. SpaceX's engineering culture is characterized by a risk-tolerant, flight testing strategy that pushes new designs to the limit. The success of this test is vital for reinforcing the company's case that Starship is nearing commercial readiness. The vehicle is positioned as central to NASA's Artemis program, supporting the effort to return astronauts to the Moon, and positioning SpaceX at the forefront of the emerging space race with competitors like China. Investors are closely watching how the company balances its short-term risk-taking with its ambitious, long-term interplanetary aspirations. SpaceX is set to launch the next generation of its Starship rocket this week, a critical test that could determine the future of the company and its ambitious space goals. This launch marks the first flight of Starship version 3, which is significantly larger and more powerful than its predecessor, representing the biggest and most powerful rocket ever built. Fully stacked, the Starship craft and Super Heavy booster measure just over 124 meters and weigh approximately 5,000 metric tons, surpassing the size of Big Ben's Elizabeth Tower. The mission is pivotal, as it is the first Starship flight test scheduled for 2026 and could prove to be a make-or-break moment for Elon Musk's SpaceX. The vehicle is central to NASA's Artemis program, aiming to provide the necessary capability for the Artemis IV mission in 2028, which seeks to return astronauts to the Moon for the first time in over 50 years. Development of Starship has faced numerous setbacks, leading to delays in NASA's Artemis timeline and potentially jeopardizing Musk's long-term vision for sending humans to Mars. The success of this launch is also directly linked to SpaceX's upcoming initial public offering, which is anticipated to occur next month. To achieve this leap in capability, SpaceX has extensively modified Starship version 3, lengthening both the upper stage and the Super Heavy booster to increase fuel capacity, enhance payload space, and upgrade the propulsion system with 33 Raptor 3 engines on the booster. These engines are capable of generating roughly 18 million pounds of thrust at liftoff, more than double the power of NASA's Saturn V rocket used during the Apollo program. The launch will originate from a newly designed pad at SpaceX's Starbase facility in Texas, featuring shorter chopsticks designed to improve rapid reusability. The primary objective of this flight test is to validate these new components in the flight environment. Viewers can follow the event via live streams on SpaceX's website, X page, and YouTube channel, with the webcast scheduled to begin approximately 45 minutes before liftoff, set for 5:30 p.m. local time on Wednesday, May 20th. SpaceX is also providing behind-the-scenes footage through its Test Like You Fly series to showcase the team preparing for liftoff. SpaceX has finalized the schedule for its highly anticipated Starship Flight 12 launch, marking the debut of the completely overhauled version 3 V3 architecture. The launch is now slated for Thursday, May 21, 2026, with a 90-minute launch window opening at 5:30 p.m. CT, 6:30 p.m. EDT/22:30 GMT from the Starbase facility in South Texas. For international audiences, the launch window begins at 4:00 a.m. IST on Friday, May 22, 2026. This mission is significant as it represents the first Starship test flight of 2026, concluding a 7-month engineering pause since the vehicle's last atmospheric flight in October 2025. Flight 12 is designed to showcase the new V3 design, which features significant redesigns across the entire architecture, powered by the next evolution of the Raptor engine, with the overarching goal of enabling full and rapid reuse through extensive data collection. The mission profile is ambitious and experimental. The Super Heavy booster is tasked with achieving a flawless launch, ascent, and stage separation, followed by a boost back burn and a final landing burn targeting an offshore location in the Gulf of Mexico. Notably, SpaceX will not attempt to return the booster to the launch site for a catch. In space, the Starship upper stage will undergo rigorous testing, including complex payload and structural evaluations. Flight 12 promises to be a major demonstration of aerospace engineering, with data gathered crucial for future lunar and Mars missions. The splashdown sequence is unique. The Super Heavy booster will aim for a splashdown in the Gulf of Mexico, while the Starship upper stage is targeting a splashdown in the Indian Ocean, near Western Australia, approximately 65 minutes after liftoff. SpaceX has explicitly stated that for this first V3 flight, neither component will attempt a mechanical catch. Both are engineered for controlled water splashdowns. A live webcast of the flight test is scheduled to begin roughly 45 minutes prior to liftoff. Enthusiasts are advised to monitor SpaceX's official X account for real-time updates on any schedule adjustments.